from Stettin in the Baltic to Trieste in the Adriatic, an iron curtain has descended across the continent. Behind that line lie all the capitals of the ancient states of Central and Eastern Europe. Warsaw, Berlin, Prague.
So my Cold War assignment, you see here what Winston Churchill was talking about. The Iron Curtain went up around the Soviet Union and other eastern states. And you see here represented by barbed wire. And my shoebox assignment is important events on the Cold War. Now, Winston Churchill gave that speech on November 6th, 1946. On April 7th, 1948, the Marshall Plan, which is American program to aid Europe. I have a pin here. Let's see on the computer screen as well. It was to rebuild and remove trade barriers to make Europe modern and prosperous, all to stop the spread of communism. On June 24th, 1948, the Berlin blockade is set up. The Soviet Union blocked all entryway, including food, to gain supremacy and starve the other side into communism. It started up Berlin aircraft, where Allies started to drop massive amounts of food, such. April 4th, 1949, the formation of NATO, the North American Treaty Organization. The countries included Norway, Denmark, Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, France, Italy, Portugal, United Kingdom, Iceland, Canada, and the United States of America. In response to that, Russia, in May 14th, 1955, the Warsaw Pact, 8 Eastern Bloc countries formed together to counter NATO. It consisted of the Soviet Union, East Germany, Czechoslovakia, Bulgaria, Hungary, Poland, Romania, and Albania. The Soviet Union actually requested to join NATO, but was turned down. In November 1st, 1955, the Vietnam War started. South Vietnam was allied with the United States. North Vietnam was allied with the Soviet Union. U.S. feared if the North won, there would be a push for communism. October 4th, 1954, Sputnik. The Russians launched the first artificial satellite. It was visible from the sky from every place in the world. Russia used it as propaganda and began to make people think Russia was far more advanced than the United States, and it started the Great Space Race and the creation of NASA. And in 1959, February 16th, Cuban Prime Minister Fidel Castro leads Communist Party to victory. May 1st, 1960, the U-2 incident. The United States spy plane was shot down over the airspace of the Soviet Union. The United States denied there was a spy plane until the Soviet Union presented the evidence. The plane took pictures of Soviet armies and base camps. The Bay of Pigs invasion on April 17th, 1961 was a secret invasion sponsored by the CIA, issued an attack on the Cuba government to overthrow Fidel Castro. The mission failed, and even though the U.S. claimed to not be involved, the evidence was overwhelming. Cuba had already approached the UN. On August 13th, 1961, was the creation of the Berlin Wall. The Berlin Wall was erected at dead of night for over 18 years, kept East Germans from fleeing to the west. October 15th, 1962, the Cuban missile crisis was closest the world ever came to nuclear war. The US was ready for it. The Soviets were prepared to use them. If there was another attempt at invasion, the crisis was evaded thanks to John F. Kennedy and Premier Nikita Khrushchev. May 26th to June 18th, 1972 was the SALT, or Strategic Arms Limitation Talks. The SALT I was to stop building nuclear weapons, and SALT II was to reduce the number of nuclear weapons. September 2nd, 28th, 1972, the Summit Series. Canada versus Russia. It was a monumental lift for Canada because we beat the Russians on the ice and the property. After that was the Communist Khmer Rouge, April 18, 1975. They take control of Cambodia and cause mass genocide of 2 to 3 million Cambodian people. March 23, 1983, the Strategic Defense Initiative Organization, proposed by Ronald Reagan, was to shoot down nuclear missiles in space before they got too close, nicknamed Star Wars. Let's see here. April 2nd, 1982. Argentina invades the Falk Islands. Britain declared war on Argentina. Ended on June 20th. August 20th, 1985, the Iran-Contra affair. The United States was selling weapons to the Iran government, who was at war with Iraq. They used the money from Iran to fund overthrow communist Nicaraguan governments. December 8th, 1987, the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, or INF. Ronald Reagan and Mikhail Gorbachev signed a treaty to eliminate nuclear and conventional ground-launched ballistics and cruise missiles with intermediate ranges. November 9th, 1989, the fall of the Berlin Wall. East Germany announced that the border separated Germany was open. People couldn't believe it and began chopping at the wall, taking parts with them. It's extraordinarily emotional for all of Germany. In December.
The pressure of East Germans fleeing in such numbers forced the East German government to make one concession after another. The country was hemorrhaging. The pressure was too much. The communist leadership buckled. Travel restrictions, it said, would be lifted. It was a momentous declaration. And that very night, for the first time since 1961, they made a hole in the Berlin Wall.
October 3rd, 1990, Germany united. East and West Germany became one country again. December 26th, 1991, the dissolution of the USSR. CIS, or Commonwealth, independent states made up of 12 independent republics of the Soviet Union formed. Cold War is over.